Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be going over all the recent Xbox 360 purchases I've made, and then also talk a little bit about why I've been buying Xbox 360 games in 2024. So let's get into the recent purchases I made. Alright, so here is the decent stack of games that I've recently purchased over the past few months. Now, we got quite a mix of games in here, honestly. We got some Gears of War and Fable for some Xbox exclusives. Then we also have some sports games, and then, of course, Assassin's Creed 1 in there. But yeah, let's go over this entire stack here, and I'm going to talk a little bit about why I've been buying Xbox 360 games in 2024. So let's start with the NHL games, because I imagine a lot of you won't really care about them, but I love hockey. Of course, I'm Canadian, so I love my hockey. NHL 07, super nostalgic. Used to play this pile at one of my buddies' places, and just a really, really good NHL game. Not my favorite. My favorite NHL game out of the entire series is NHL 06. I put so many hours in that game with my brother growing up. We had it on the computer, and yeah, NHL 06 is just my favorite. That's the game I grew up with. But NHL 7, awesome with that Alexander Ovechkin cover. He's one of my favorite players of all time. Same with Crosby. So to have the Alex Ovechkin on the artwork, or I guess picture on the front, that's pretty cool. Very, very nostalgic for myself. So then we also got NHL 08. Now I do have this game for the PlayStation 2, and I played it a pile growing up. So this is just the Xbox 360 version. We got Eric Stahl on the cover art here, and Eric Stahl used to be very, very good back in the day. And yeah, another NHL game. I mean, they don't really change that much year to year. And also, I got all three of these NHL games, NHL 07, NHL 08, and then also NHL 14 right here for under $10. Yes, sports games are dirt cheap, as many of you probably know, and I never ever buy sports games brand new, just because you know that they're going to depreciate in value so fast. So then we got NHL 14 right here with Martin Brodeur on the cover. He was a phenomenal goalie. He's long been retired though, but yeah, NHL 14. I've never played this one, but I've heard it's one of the best of the series of the NHL games, so definitely excited to try this one out and see if it is indeed one of the best of the series. And then we got Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End. This game I have for the PS2. Of course, my PlayStation 2 isn't in the greatest shape right now. Like, it has trouble reading discs, so I think it's either the disk drive or I'm not really sure 100%, but it has trouble reading discs, and so I decided to pick this game up for the 360. It was super cheap, like only $7, and of course we got the manual and the disc there. I used to love this game so much for the PS2 because I had it on the PS2, and I've been playing it a little bit here and there recently, and it is honestly not bad. I was worried that my nostalgia would have been clouding my vision and how the game actually was, but no, it's actually not a bad game. It's a Pirates of the Caribbean themed kind of hack and slash, beat 'em up style game that really isn't all that difficult because it is just T-rated. Like, it's not bad though. It's really not a bad game at all, and I'm enjoying it, but it is funny playing through it after just recently watching the Pirates of the Caribbean movies again. And oh man, they really changed a lot of the story elements in this game from what the movies were actually like. So there's definitely, it's not very movie accurate, but still, honestly, not a bad game. I'm glad I picked it up super cheap. Then next, we got Assassin's Creed, the very first one. So this is the Platinum Hits version. I found this at the pawn shop locally. It was only $5, so can't really go wrong there. And yeah, this is just super cool that they have like the little blurb about Altair, basically talking about his life and everything. It's kind of cool. I guess the old Assassin's Creed games all used to do that on their cases, which I thought was really, really cool. So I'm definitely excited to play this game and make a video on it for you guys, because this game is, I do have it on my Xbox One, and on my Xbox One I can record footage. So basically, this game I'm going to be able to record footage on. Pirates of the Caribbean, not backwards compatible. Don't know if I'll ever release a video on Pirates of the Caribbean. or any of the NHL games. Maybe I'll go back and do a video on NHL 06 because I just love that game so much and it's my favorite NHL game. But yeah, that is Assassin's Creed, the very first game. So super excited to go back and play it now that I've played through the second game, and I've been playing through Mirage recently, and I absolutely love Assassin's Creed Mirage. That game's really, really good too. Then we got Batman Arkham Origins. This game I've never played before. The only Arkham game I've played, I believe, was Arkham City, and I basically haven't really played this game much at all, but I want to get into it more and play it some more. And then again, hopefully I can record a video for you guys. I'm really not sure. I didn't look to see if this game is backwards compatible or not. But if it is, then I can definitely make a video on this game as well, because I really, really remember loving Arkham City. I just, for whatever reason, didn't play any of the other Arkham games. And this game was one of the more expensive games of this haul of games I have right here. It was 25 bucks. I just bought it locally. And no, it wasn't too bad of a deal, because what I was finding on eBay, it was just kind of floating around that $30 range. So I figured 25 bucks isn't too bad. The case is in not bad shape, and it has the inserts and everything there too. So everything you really need. And yeah, I'm just really, really excited to get into this game. It's a game that could maybe go up in value. Not really sure, because the other Arkham games were made by the same developer, and they saw, of course, Return to Arkham as a re-release on the PS4, and I think it was also re-released on the Xbox One there as well. I believe it wasn't just exclusive, and so those games will definitely, they've seen re-releases and stuff, but I'm not really sure if Arkham Origins will ever see a re-release, because it wasn't made by the same developer and wasn't part of the Arkham trilogy. So, of course, then they also have the Arkham trilogy released for the Nintendo Switch as well, which I've heard kind of mixed things about. I guess the 360 versions of those games are honestly better to play, at least graphically, and the port over the Switch just wasn't done very well. So, anyways, that's my little rant about Batman Arkham Origins and Batman Arkham series. Really excited to get into this game and maybe make a video for you guys. Next, we got Need for Speed Carbon. Sadly, I don't think any of the Need for Speed games are backwards compatible on the Xbox One, but nonetheless, I absolutely love Most Wanted and Underground 2. Those are my two favorite Need for Speed games, and I just had to get Carbon because I have played it a long, long time ago, and I remember really, really enjoying it. I remember it being kind of similar to Most Wanted, but still different in its own way. But yeah, Carbon, like, honestly, really, really gonna dive into it here shortly, because I've just been kind of itching to play some racing games, some classic Need for Speed. So gonna get into this one soon. And yeah, this one was $20. I picked it up locally as well. Just found someone that had advertised locally, so I picked it up, honestly, in really, really good shape. Case is in good shape, manuals are good shape. Disc, of course, is like mint, like no scratches at all. So that is Need for Speed Carbon. Now we got Brothers in Arms, Hell's Highway. I actually just decided to pick this one up just because I was watching a video, and this one guy was going over, I can't remember what the YouTube channel was, but he was talking about this is the best World War II type of shooter, or World War type of shooter. And yeah, so I just decided to pick it up because he was talking about how great it was in the video and made some really, really good points and showed some gameplay and different things that got me kind of intrigued. So I think this one's like a third person World War II type of shooter. I've never played any of the Brothers in Arms games, and I guess the story's really, really good too. And yeah, I'm excited to get into this one. I do think it is backwards compatible, I believe, so I could definitely make a video on this one in the future as well. And it's not supposed to be, like, none of these games are really long. Like, none of the 360 games were all that long. Like, I feel like back in the 360 days, like, that sounds so weird to say, but the 360 is getting to be quite an old console. But back in the 360 days, I feel like an average game was like 8 or 9 hours, and then now you got like average games I feel like are like 15 to 20, if not 20 plus hours. Like a short game is honestly like 15 hours, it feels like now. And but yeah, I'm excited to get into this one. Hopefully it is backwards compatible, and if I can get it up on my Xbox One, expect a video on this one in the future. Now, these next ones I know are backwards compatible, so I definitely want to do videos on all of these. Gears of War, the very first one. Man, I love the Gears of War series. I used to play Gears of War 3 with my buddies so much back when it had come out and everything. We played so much online, and we all, my one buddy and I, we just went over to each other's house. Like I went over to his house and we just played through the whole campaign on Gears of War 3. But Gears of War 1, I've played a little bit with my brother here and there, but never actually played it from start to finish. So Gears of War, definitely going to make a video on this one. Going to get it running up on my Xbox One, and you guys can definitely expect a video on this one because I'm really excited to finally go back and play Gears of War 1 from start to finish. So that is Gears of War, the very first game. Next, we got Gears of War 2. And this one also, both these games, honestly, the cases, discs are mint, like no scratches. The manual and inserts are all mint as well. So this is Gears of War 2. I haven't played a single minute of Gears of War 2, and yet from what I've seen online, people seem to rave about Gears of War 2 being the best of the entire series. So this is one I definitely need to play, and I plan on playing very, very soon. And you guys, when I play it, I'm going to definitely get some footage recorded and make a video on it. So very, very excited to just dive into the Gears of War series. And of course, once I get done this one, I got to go back and play some Gears of War 3, because Gears of War 3 and Judgment are the only two games I actually have out of the entire series. So that is Gears of War 2. Now we'll get into the Fable series. So this is Fable Anniversary. So it is a remaster of the very first Fable game for the 360. So basically nothing really different than the very first game, at least from my knowledge. Yeah, I think they just included some extra content maybe. But yeah, I'm really interested in trying the Fable series because I've heard great things about them, but I've never actually played any of these games, and it's just interesting to me. It kind of makes me think of those books I used to read when I was a kid that were like, you know, you had to flip to a certain page and you got to like choose your own path throughout the book, and depending on what way you wanted to go, you'd flip to this page if you wanted to make this certain decision, and then there was like different endings to the book and stuff. And these games sound very similar because basically what you do throughout the game determines how the rest of how the game will actually go and how your story will actually go. And everything says for every choice, a consequence. So that kind of explains it right there. So depending on what you choose throughout the game, that'll affect your story, which just sounds really, really cool to me. And I'm really, really excited to get into this game. Fable Anniversary. Definitely expect videos on all the Fable games. So then we got Fable 2. Fable 2, not really much else to say, you know, same type of deal. I haven't played any of the Fable series, but yeah, excited to get into this one as well. This case and manual and disc are all mint on this one. Like, honestly, everything in this entire haul, except for some of the, like, NHL 08 and NHL 07, those cases weren't really great shape. And Brothers in Arms case was in mediocre shape, but the rest of these games, I mean, the cases, manuals, everything's really good shape. So Fable 2, same thing as the first game. Really excited to get in this one, see how the Fable series actually is. They're like action RPG type games, so I do like my action RPGs. My favorite action RPGs probably being Legacy of Goku 2 for the Game Boy Advance, and then Boo's Fury. But of course, Fable's a little bit different than Dragon Ball, but still, those are probably my two favorite action RPGs of all time. So yeah, then we got Fable 3. Very good condition case. Manuals are in good shape. The discs in really good shape. All these games are in great shape. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention the Gears of War 1 and Gears of War 2 I got for $5 a piece locally. This guy was just piecing out his entire collection, so I picked up Fable 3 from him as well. This one was also $5 as well, so like super cheap. And then I got Fable 2 and Fable Anniversary. I bought Fable 2 off of eBay, but it was super cheap as well. I think it was like $6 after shipping and tax. And then Fable Anniversary I ended up finding just at the pawn shop actually, and it was $20 at the pawn shop. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, this is the entire stack of games once again that I got here. Super excited to play all these games, and just, you know, I've had a blast buying more 360 games in 2024. And the main reason why I've been buying 360 games is because they're so cheap. And there is so many great games on the 360 that I've never played, because when the 360 was around, I was still a broke student in school, right? Like I was still living with my parents and going to grade school, so I didn't have any money. I basically only got games for Christmas and for my birthday, and that was it. So I missed a lot of these games, but at least Gears of War games, I know I really like Gears of War 3 and Judgment. Those two games I have such great memories from. And then the Fable series, I've heard only good things about them, so I'm really excited to get into those games as well. Brothers in Arms, after I watched that YouTube video, I'm really looking forward to that game, because it sounds like it'll be a phenomenal game. And then, of course, I'm hooked on Assassin's Creed now ever since playing Assassin's Creed 2, so can't really go wrong with the very first game for $5 there. Like, all these games are incredible, and they're going to be so much fun to play through. And any of the ones that I can record footage on and that are backwards compatible on the Xbox One, expect videos on. Like the Fable series, Gears of War, Brothers in Arms, I believe is backwards compatible if I remember correctly. I'm not sure about Arkham Origins, but I know Assassin's Creed 1 is. So yeah, you guys can expect videos on most of these games. And yeah, the main really reason why I've been collecting Xbox 360 games is they're still cheap to collect. They're still cheap to purchase. They're still cheap to buy. And, you know, if you can buy, you know, like all these games, like it was crazy, like $15 for Gears of War 1, 2, and Fable 3. Like $15 for 3 games, that's a pretty sweet deal and everything. And the 360 is one of the few consoles that are still cheap to buy games for. And also, you know, you never know with the 360 marketplace closing this summer in July. You don't really know what in the world's going to go on there with certain games. They might go up in value. Who knows, right? But for now, anyways, these are all the games I've purchased for now. So I'm going to close out the video and turn the camera around in a second here. So yeah, that's my entire stack of games that I've recently purchased over the past few months. And of course, we got a good mix of stuff here. Some NHL games, because I'm a huge hockey fan. And then we got just a bunch of other games like Gears of War series. I want to play the first and second game. And then the Fable series, a series I never tried, but I've heard good things about and want to get into. So, and then of course, Need for Speed. I know the old Need for Speed games are really good. Most Wanted and Underground 2 being my 2 favorites. And then the Arkham games, can't go too wrong with them. I remember loving Arkham City, so I'm really excited to get into Arkham Origins. And yeah, I just really enjoy buying 360 games and playing them. The 360 is still such a great console. I love that console. It's definitely one of my all-time favorites. And, you know, the games are still super affordable, really cheap to buy. So who knows, someday they might end up going up in value. I don't think they'll quite reach like GameCube value. Like some of the GameCube games have really shot up over the past few years. But I think they, you know, once the 360 is getting to be a little bit older, then there will definitely be people that'll have some nostalgia and good memories that they want to go back to, right? So there's always a chance that these games could go up. And while they're still affordable right now, I might as well buy them, get them in the collection, and play through them and enjoy them right now. So anyways, I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. And if you did, leave a like, subscribe for more, and I'll see you all in the next one.